Hey friends, I hope you're doing well and you are finding the material from this week easy to follow. So, normally this would be a game that we would have played in our classroom, and some of you might have gotten the opportunity to play it. But because we are now on this new virtual learning journey, I have tried to adapt it as best as I can to make it something you can do at home. So if you have many people at home and you want to pretend to be these different roles, feel free. But if you're on your own, no worries. There is nothing wrong with that. You can still complete this activity. So let me explain it a little bit. This is our banana. Oh, and I ripped the paper. This is our banana. My banana is not ripe yet because I did not have a yellow marker, and you wouldn't be able to see it if it was in yellow. So we gave me an unripe banana. Each banana is worth 30 cents. So we have 30 pennies altogether to play with. We are going to look into the different roles that the banana workers have. So we're going to look at what a banana worker does, what the plantation owner does, the importer and ripener, the shipper, as well as the shops and supermarkets. And you're going to get to choose how much of these 30 cents each person deserves, in your opinion. There is no right or wrong answer. I just want to hear how much you think each person should get and why. So let's go straight into it by reading about the banana worker. Here's the banana worker and some of her duties. She works 12 to 14-hour days of hard physical labor in very hot conditions. She must select the best bananas. She must also wash the bananas, which means she has her hands in water all day long. She must cut the bananas, which means she will have to carry heavy loads of bananas on her back. She must apply fertilizers and pesticides. This can lead to health risks such as cancer and other diseases. The pesticides are also sprayed from planes, and they are likely to fall on your home or the local school. She also has to worry. She often worries if she has enough money to buy food, pay medical bills, or to send her children to school. She may not be allowed to meet together with other workers to complain about her pay, the way you are treated at work, or where you live. This is the plantation owner. Plantation running cost. He has to pay for the expensive pesticides, the fuel for pesticide spraying planes, tools, and machinery. Cost of lawyers. If a worker sues him for an accident, he also has to pay. Waste. Regulation in most countries in Europe, and most shoppers want perfect fruit. No marks on the skin, a nice shape, etc. This takes a lot of skill and money to achieve. If any of his bananas don't meet the highest standards, they have to be scrapped or thrown away, so he loses money. Risk factor. He bears the cost if the harvest is bad or a hurricane or pest destroys his crops. So if an animal comes and destroys everything, he loses all of that money. Modernization investments. He needs money to keep paying for the latest machines and ideas, so his plantation stays up to date and he stays in business. There's also a cost of a land. The longer his land is used to grow bananas, the more the goodness in the soil will be used up, and you will need to pay for expensive fertilizers or buy new land. Next, we have the importer and ripener. Their first job is transporting by truck from the European port to big ripening centers and from there to the shops. That means they must take the bananas on a truck to the ripening centers and then from the ripening centers to the stores. Contracts. He will have to promise the plantation owner that he will buy a certain amount of bananas each week. He will have to promise the shops that he will provide a certain amount of bananas each week. Whatever happens, he will have to keep those promises, even if something goes wrong in the supply chain and he is let down. Licensing fee. He will have to pay an import license to bring his bananas into the European Union. Big offices. Importers need big, fancy office buildings for the work that their role involves. Ripening gas. Ethylene is used to ripen bananas. He must pay for the gas. And repackaging. After ripening, the bananas must be repackaged, so he will have to pay for the materials and for the workers to repackage the bananas. Next, we have the shipper. He faces the following costs. Ships. Big cargo ships are very expensive to buy and keep in working order. Fuel. He needs to pay for fuel for the ships. One load between Latin America and Europe may be at sea for up to 5 weeks. So he needs to pay for enough gas to keep this boat on the sea for 5 weeks. Insurance. If a cargo is lost or damaged, it may be your fault and you may have to pay for it. Refrigeration. On board, the bananas are kept in big fridges to prevent them from ripening during that time at sea. If they ripen too soon, they will be spoiled by the time they arrive at the shops. Port fees. You will have to pay for your ships to be in port at both ends of the sea journey. Next, we have our shops and supermarkets. The staff. She has to pay people who work in her store. Running cost. She has to pay for lighting, transport, designing the staff uniforms, and carrier bags. Competition. She needs to take on new ideas, maybe build a bigger shop, and buy new machinery, all to make sure that she's making more money than the other shops and stay in business. Risk. If the bananas are handled badly or arrived on the shelves overripe, your customers will not be happy. They might not decide to shop at her store anymore. And advertising. She will need to advertise what she sells and to show how good her shop is so that shoppers come to buy their shopping at her store rather than going anywhere else. Paying for these commercials and advertisements costs money. So, now that we've gone over all of the different roles, you're going to think to yourself, how much do I think each person deserves? Remember, you only have 30 cents total for this one banana. So no matter how much you decide to pick per person, you cannot go over 30 cents. That means if I give 20 cents to the banana worker, I only have 10 cents left to evenly distribute or to give everyone else. So I'm going to think to myself, well, you know what? The banana worker works really long hours. How much do I think they should get? They're working for about 14 hours. I'm going to give the banana worker 15 cents. Now remember, this is just my opinion. You don't have to listen to what I'm saying. You can pick your own numbers. And I encourage you to pick your own numbers because this is what I think. I want to know what you think. So I gave my banana workers 15 cents. I have 15 cents left to give everyone else. You know what? I'm going to give the shipper 5 cents because I think they worked pretty hard. I'm going to give them 5 cents. That leaves me with 10 cents left. I think I'm going to give our importer 3 cents. I think I'm going to give our plantation owner 2 cents. Now, if you do the math, how much do I have left to give our shops and supermarket? I'll give you a second to do the math. Are you doing the math? I hope so. Are you done? How much do we have left? If you said we have 5 cents left, you are correct. We have 5 cents left to spend. So I'm going to give that 5 cents to our shops and supermarket owners. So now that I've gotten all of my breakdowns of how much I want to give each person, I'm going to go over to the Google form that is located under Science for Today, and I'm going to write it all in. So it's going to show you everyone's roles again if you want to reread them, or you can rewatch this video. Then you're going to go in and say, I want to give the banana worker this much because. And then just go down the list. There will be questions that say, how much should the banana worker get? And you can put, the banana worker should get 15 cents and tell me why. I hope this helped explain this activity a bit to you guys, and I will see you in the next video.